Hi guys, my name is Mr. Asensio. I am a senior here at Salish Kootenai College, as well as an enrolled member of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai Tribes, and I'm excited to be here today.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Barkas. I'm from Browning, Montana. I'm an enrolled Blackfeet tribal member, and this is my 4th year in the elementary education division at Salish Kootenai College.
Hello, my name is Luann Hoskinson. I am a student at Salish Kootenai College in the Early Childhood Services Department, and I'm also a lead toddler teacher at the SKC Early Learning Center. I am a single mother with 4 beautiful children.
Hi you guys, I'm Jennifer Broughton. I'm a student here at Salish Kootenai College and I'm studying early childhood education. Today we are going to be teaching you guys about ledger art. Do any of you guys know what ledger art is? If so, could you share your thoughts with us? If not, we want to hear your guys' predictions as to what it might be. Teachers, feel free to pause the video now to allow students to share their responses.
We're sure you guys had some great ideas, but we're going to go ahead and give a little background history on what ledger art is. Ledger art is an art style that was created by Plains Indian tribe in the 19th century and stems from the early usage of petroglyphs and pictographs. Tribal people then took that style and infused it with new materials.
Alrighty, now we have another question for you guys. Do any of you know what petroglyphs or pictographs are? Once again, we asked the teacher to go ahead and pause the video so students can share their thoughts and ideas. As some of you may have guessed, petroglyphs are an art form in which people would carve into rock, and pictographs, on the other hand, is an art form in which they would paint onto the rocks with natural paint. Many tribes would document stories and create artwork through these methods and can still be seen in places like the Saguaro National Park in Arizona and the National Petroglyph Monument in New Mexico. According to the Montana Office of Public Instruction, The Art of Storytelling, this petroglyph and pictograph were found in Rosebud County and are 350 years old.
In addition to the tribes using rocks as canvases, tribal people had another resource they would use. Teachers, get ready to pause again, for we have another question. What do you guys think was the other resource that the tribes would use to paint designs on? If you guessed hide, then you would be correct. More specifically, tanned hides. Hides are basically the skin of an animal. The tribes would then tan the hide to preserve it. Tanning is the process in which they take the hide and turn it into leather. Based on the tribe's location, they would typically use deer hide or the hide of a bison.
Prior to the arrival of European settlers, tribes did not have many materials to work with, such as paper, pencils, and ink, which is what we would use nowadays. So they had to gather and make all their materials. Can you guys think of some ways in which tribes would make their pigments, which is like the ink that you would use to do the drawing on for ledger art? Teachers, feel free to pause the video again. So tribal people had to be creative and use their surroundings to make different colors. So they used items including plants, flowers, tree bark, berries, vegetables, rocks, and more, and got a lot of different colors from those items. And once they developed the color or powder, they would mix in things such as water or animal fat to make the pigment usable.
When Europeans did arrive, however, they brought new materials that changed the way in which tribes created their art. This is what then shaped ledger art into what we know it as today. With the distribution of ledger paper and writing utensils, tribal people were able to transfer their work onto a paper surface and use materials such as pencils, colored pencils, and permanent paint.
Many Montana tribes such as the Crow, Northern Cheyenne, and Blackfeet tribes used ledger art. They would use the art form to depict battles, locations, traditional dances, practices, and stories.
Years later, many tribal people still practice this art form. For example, John Pippian, he's an enrolled member of the Blackfeet tribe, and he has made a career from his talent. He integrates traditional designed elements into all of his pieces and illustrates his cultural background in various forms. Make sure to check out the video link to watch the video about John Pippian and his work.
Johnny Quick-to-See Smith is a contemporary artist who is an enrolled member of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes. She works with a wide variety of art styles, such as painting and printmaking. Throughout her artwork, she encapsulates tribal culture and contemporary politics.
In addition to contemporary tribal artists creating beautiful drawings and paintings, many have begun creating sculptures. For example, Dwight Bilodeau, an enrolled member of the Blackfeet tribe, created this sculpture here on Salish Kootenai College's campus of a tribal man releasing an eagle. He created the sculpture with old pieces of scrap metal that he got from a car.
Ledger art is an art form in which people can express their emotions and depict stories in a way that is authentic to them. With that being said, we have a few tasks for you guys today. The first task is to use a paper bag that has been shaped as a deer hide and depict it into your very own ledger art. You can use crayons, colored pencils, markers, and/or stamps. We request that you incorporate geometric shapes such as squares, circles, and triangles, as well as draw out an important place, object, or story. The next task is to create a second piece of ledger art using your own choice of materials. You can do another drawing, a painting, or even build a sculpture. Once again, we ask that you guys try to tell a story or integrate an important person, object, or place. After creating your pieces, we encourage you guys to share your art and stories with another as well as with us. Our last task is that you guys do a little write-up explaining how ledger art contributed and continues to contribute to the development and transmission of tribal culture, and to provide an example or two as to how ledger art has changed from its original form to now.
Before we go, we want to go ahead and show you guys some of the examples that we have and explain the meaning. So this here is done by my niece who is a high school student in St. Ignatius. You see this back page, this ledger, this was a school attendance record. It had significance because it has her grandfather's name on it, and it also has her aunt. And this story is about her Kene, which is her father's mother. And we see up here, we see the Bitterroot, and that's the Bitterroot for the Salish. And this is her Kene. And you see, and the teepee has a Salish design on the bottom. We also show her Kene here on the horse hunting. This is because her Kene was a single mother, and she was the one who did the hunting and the providing for her family. And then down here shows one of her elderly aunts had also signed it. This second piece here, done by my niece too. This here is a more contemporary piece. She has a story written, and then she has her pictures on top of it. So it shows you that the variety of the artwork, it doesn't all have to be the same. You can use all sorts of mediums. The first one was done with chalks. This one has paints and watercolors. So thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to our lesson. We have really enjoyed it, and I hope that you learn a lot about ledger art and enjoy the project of being able to create some of your own.
I hope you guys enjoy this presentation. I hope you take the products and you enjoy it and have fun. That's the most important part. Have fun, and I hope you make great creations to last a lifetime. Thank you.